Yo, it's so many updates that's going on in the Nolan Wells case. The disrespect for the parents is insane. Nothing is being done about it. So, we as the people in the internet street have to keep striving and figuring out who these folks is. Just like when people call us the N word and all that, right? What we do, we go find out who these people are, right? And we put their information, let them know that they are the people that are harassing these people. You get what I'm saying? Thank you guys for tuning in. This is my 11th live. Yes, yes, this is my 11th live. You guys have been showing love actually on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, etc. I'm just coming on. We're going to be talking about Trent out loud. He challenged TMZ. I am so happy. People are now not just holding their, you know what I mean? Like just holding their nuts up on these people. You know what I mean? It's time for it's just time. You know what I mean? Serious business. And yeah, I'm gonna update it again because some of my channels or didn't get my notification. So hopefully we can all get it this time. Thank you, thank you for tuning in. I'm gonna wait a few minutes to see. Let me get some more folks in here today. Thank you for the people who are in here at this moment. We're gonna get down to the nitty gritty. Catch up. Yesterday, I was on earlier yesterday, um, and I'm jumping on periodically because obviously I got a business too, so I got to keep the bills being paid. This as well. So what I'm doing is trying to find X so we can try. I'm gonna repost everything. You don't mind, post everything for me. Repost, 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 repost. That's all I ask you. Because we finna get down to the business. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You know what I mean? Enough is enough. But let's get to the business, you guys. Let's get to the business. Mr. Influencer TikTok, not TikTok. He's an influencer. Majority of the time I see him on YouTube, right? And he's to the point. He got on TMZ ass straight the F up, okay? But these people are just crazy. Like here, yeah, let's get it on, you guys. Thank you guys for binge watching these videos with me. Everything that we do, obviously, I wait a few minutes to go find some things and we can all unravel this stuff together. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see what Mr. Trent.
Yesterday, I was on TMZ and I caught Harvey in a bold face lie. Yeah, but Harvey, how do you know? Can you confirm to me right now that it was taken on July the 4th? Also, during my interview, Harvey boldly confirmed that Nolan was not on the boat that was heading back to the mainland. And I also checked him on that comment because as far as I know, the investigation is not completed yet and no officials have confirmed if Nolan was on the boat or not.
He wasn't on that boat.
And when I am done dragging Harvey and TMZ, I'm going to tell you about Warren's dad and his plans on suing Benjamin Crump. And then I will let you know about the first arrest in the Nolan Xavier Wells case. And surprise, surprise, it has nothing to do with Nolan. Somebody has been arrested for threatening Judge Ashley Cole, who is Warren's stepmama.
My apologies, y'all. It was a Hispanic looking guy, nobody black. That's a distraction, y'all. So I want y'all to know that is a effing distraction. Let's continue.
Pretty ironic that the first person arrested is somebody who threatened a white woman. And the updates do not stop there. I have some news about the state-ran autopsy and what's really going on behind the scenes. There has been a ton of developments over the past 24 hours in the Nolan Wells case. Sit back, relax. I'll tell you everything you need to know, and then I'll hand it off to you, the out louders. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Before I start dragging Harvey and TMZ, I would like to give them credit for one thing. Shout outs to you guys for having me on the show. As they know, and many of you might know, I drag TMZ almost every day on this channel. I pretty much talk very unfavorable of them, and I'm very critical of them and the reporting. But regardless of that, they had me on yesterday to say my piece, and that you have to respect. Now, with that out the way, let me tell you how things went down, okay? And I have the clips to show you. It is on their website right now. You can see it was posted yesterday, but I'll show you clips of it right now. It's 10 minutes. I brought it down to around like 2 minutes. They started talking about, of course, the autopsy. They started talking about Ben Crump and Judge Ashley Nicole. I'll tell you guys about that, how Warren's dad is suing Benjamin Crump for defamation, and how Judge Ashley Nicole reported that somebody was threatening her and that person has gotten arrested. So I was brought on to say my opinion of that. Now, as we got into my opinion, I pointed out, and you'll see, I pointed out the fact that I find it very ironic that a white woman, a white judge in Mississippi says, oh my gosh, I have been threatened. And just to be clear, it's not right or fair to threaten anybody, but do you have any idea how many threats Christine has gotten and there has been 0 arrests? You're going to hear me call that out. 1. 2, Harvey, to me, is the most, he says that Nolan was not on that boat. And to me, that is the most shocking thing I've heard him say, or I've heard TMZ write in this whole entire case. How can he have the audacity to say that he can confirm that Nolan was not on that boat? And when I challenge him on that, he says, well, we saw the video that Officer Tatum put out. Former Officer Tatum? You mean Officer Dingbat? That is what you're going on? You're not telling me that a government official, the police, the DA, nobody told you and gave you that confirmation.
The bootlicker.
The investigation is still ongoing, but you want to confirm to me that Nolan wasn't on that boat because of a video that Officer Tatum put out and some pictures? Now, when I challenge him on that fact, and I asked him, how do you know that video that Officer Tatum put out, or former Officer Tatum put out, how do you know that that's real? How do you know that that was taken on July the 4th? How do you know they didn't stage that and they took it when he went out there to record? Because you know that they did go back on that island. I asked him, do you have the date and do you have the metadata? Now, Harvey doubles down and says, yes, we have confirmed the authenticity of it. We have checked the metadata. Then you're going to see, if you look very carefully, he gazes off camera for a split second. I feel like somebody's maybe telling him something, and he goes, well, anything could be possible. So 1 second, excuse me, did you confirm it? Did you see the metadata? Are you confirming that it was July the 4th, or are you not confirming, Harvey? I would just like to know. So watch the clip. I'm going to play maybe 30 seconds so that you hear him talking about the threats, or sorry, the lawsuit, and then the threats, and then you'll hear my piece. Watch very, very carefully when he looks off camera and then backtracks on the metadata.
Warren Hudson, specifically his mother, who is a judge, she, we're told, got a lot of threats, specifically from this one man who is known as a Sacramento area man, was arrested.
And there is something else that one of the boys who was friends with his dad talked to the New York Post and said they are considering filing a defamation lawsuit against Ben Crump. What we've kind of concluded based on video that we received is that Nolan was not on that boat, that's the boat at the beginning of the trip back from Horn Island.
Yeah.
and that Nolan is not on that boat, and that's the boat that went into distress a few minutes after leaving Horn Island.
We're gonna focus on the friends. We're gonna focus on the family because that's what we do. See, I'm over on TikTok. See, TikTok is no joke, right? But I'm also doing live stream. You're saying who we're focusing on. We're gonna focus on everybody. We're not gonna let people tell us who we should and should not focus on. Okay, so to tell us that we focus too much on the kids, the boat, and stuff like that, that's how you investigate things, sir. I'm sorry. Everybody, it's just like me. And if my daughter die and I could be a suspect myself as a parent, right? I can't tell somebody to go focus on who she talked to last because obviously you don't know if I did it or not, right? So that's what we do over here. TikTok is really solving this case for them, and they're mad because their machine is not bigger than the machine. You get what I'm saying? See, when you running a machine and you're using people, I'm gonna say alleged like TMZ and all these big platforms to put things out there, and you have a bigger machine that's a collective that's suppressing what you guys in a narrative, and people are calling you out like this guy Trent or whatnot. It's a problem. It's a problem.
Hey, this is Trent Out Loud.
And y'all make sure you guys like the live, share the live, and everything else. You can say whatever you want, sweetheart. At the end of the day, when it turns to your door, then you would understand. So have a great day.
YouTuber. I think the judge threats and the Benjamin Crump defamation lawsuit is just a distraction. I think it's incredibly telling that a white woman goes out and shows us the threats she's getting, and within days there is an arrest, but there has been zero arrest when it comes to the Nolan Wells case. Do you have any idea how many threats Christine has gotten? How come there's nobody arresting for the people that are threatening her?
Well, no, listen, you first have to determine if there's foul play, right? And I don't know that they've determined that yet. So you don't go out and start arresting people until you know, A, if there's foul play, and B.
Y'all arrest black people all the time, baby boy. I don't understand how you say you just don't go out and arrest people. They arrest people on hunches. They arrest people on here. He say, she say stuff in my community. You get what I'm saying? I don't care where I move to. The black community is gonna always be my black community. They get arrested on he say, she say stuff. So I don't understand.
Who did it? But just because there hasn't been doesn't mean there's not a real investigation behind it.
Agreed. But now let's talk about that picture that you showed up of the boat. We got that picture from Officer Tatum, former Officer Tatum. How do we know when that picture was taken? We have no metadata. We have no proof. How do we know that? And also,
well, no, but what the video? It's not a pic. We're talking about.
Well, he put out pictures and video.
I know, but the video, we can align the video with the distress call, and he wasn't on that boat.
Yeah, but Harvey, how do you know? Has former Officer Tatum, has he provided you guys with the
and what evidence that they didn't do it? Because no one is saying they did anything. People are connecting dots, sweetheart. What evidence is there? Thank you guys for commenting too. What evidence is it that they didn't do it other than their word of mouth? We just don't believe in, and my sons hang around a diverse crowd of children, right? They will not leave their boy nowhere. Then you have to take a boat to get wherever you're going. Oh, everybody does it all the time. Get out of here. Get out of here. And then listen, you say no evidence. Why did you not give the mother the phone? You know what I mean? Why did the mother have to look for the phone? Why did you pretend it like, oh, you don't know where it's at? Like all this switcheroo games and these fake AI pictures, like his leg was hanging out the boat. Let me tell you something. My belief, not that the boys are guilty. My belief, they brought that boy's body out there and staged it, okay? something happened in between. Whatever that was, you have so many people that have high ranking positions. Y'all got to stop playing.
Metadata. Do you know 100% when that video and those pictures were taken? Can you confirm to me right now that it was taken on July the 4th?
That's what we have concluded based on everything we've looked at, metadata, talking to people, and aligning it with the distress call. Yeah. Now, look, anything is possible.
It's not that they can't get him for leaving. You have to prove that he refused. And see, when someone is not living, it's your word, it's their word against his, right? Even if he drowned, was he forced in the water? Was he choked before he got in the water? It's so many elements of whatever this is. And see, let me tell you something. This year is the year for the women, and anybody can get mad about it all they want. They're women, they're children, they're men. Okay. At the end of the day, everything that you have been doing in the dark is coming to the light. And in my opinion, there are two big dogs going at it. And one can't really, in my opinion, my calling no names, just imagine this. Just imagine this. Two big dogs that been in an area that consider prominent to that area. They done stuff. They close it. They keep a tight lip mouth. Someone else done something. Tight lip mouth, right? Just think about this. A young man will do to go back to school on Monday. Regardless of if he was drinking, whatever it is, all of us has done some things when we were young. And it's best to get that ish out of your way so that you could grow the F up, right? If that's something you're gonna do. Don't do it when you get old because you get stuck. Okay. At the end of the day, nothing makes sense. I don't understand the delusional people that are out here thinking that nobody should be worried about certain things, right? And thinking like you could just do whatever you want to do to a human being. No, you have your God-given rights first. And whoever, I just don't understand. Like the thinking of whomever it is, these people. You know what I mean? And it's not everybody. Like I said, I have my son, they all talk to a variety of different people, right? And they would not leave their homeboy out, white or black, Mexican, Spanish, whatever it is. I'm living in Florida, I'm from Louisiana. They will not leave their homeboy out nowhere. Especially you're saying, oh, he's drunk, sluggish. So you mean to tell me you know that he was impaired and you left him? None of this stuff makes sense. You know? Let me tell you something. I believe evidence. I don't know. I'm not going to say that, but I do believe that in my belief, I believe that that boy was placed there. He did not. It's just hard for me to believe that the same place you allegedly drowned is the same place you washed up on shore. Makes no sense. I'm sorry, y'all. Then you talk about currents and all this other stuff. You're not gonna make me believe that. Let's see how Trent checked TMZ.
I'm certainly not saying it wasn't foul play because I don't know. It's just, I think, jumping to conclusions at the beginning and starting to point fingers at people without really knowing. It may be fair, but what if it's really unfair and you're kind of tarnishing people who really shouldn't be tarnished? Shouldn't that be a concern?
I think if anybody who jumped to conclusions first was the Mississippi officers that jumped to conclusions 1 hour after finding his body and said, no evidence of foul play. They jumped to conclusions, not us.
Well, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
They just want the truth.
I think that's fair.
To me, it is shocking that a huge platform like TMZ would have the audacity to go on the airwaves and say Nolan was not on that boat. We still have the CETO call to go over. I showed you guys that yesterday in the video I did yesterday. I'll pin it in the comment section. Benjamin Crumb says, yo, they have the audio and they're working with forensic audio engineers. We don't know what was on that call. We heard other audio engineers. We heard content creators. We heard a lot of people bring their variations, but we still have to wait for Benjamin Crumb, and we still, newsflash, have to wait for the police investigation. So the audacity for Harvey to say that, and it goes what I always say about TMZ, they're always caping for the other side. You saw there in that clip, well, the boys have the spotlight on them. Oh, things are hard for the boys. How about Christine and Elmore? How about Nolan's family? How about the fact that Nolan is not here? Now, we don't know who was involved and who was not involved, but no, sorry. I'm not wasting my time feeling sorry for the boys that had Nolan's phone and didn't give it back right away, who didn't call right away, who left Nolan there, and regardless whatever they had their involvement or not, they left him there. You don't go out with your boys, you don't go out with your best friends anywhere and just leave them, much less a secluded island that you can't get off of without a boat. I don't go to the club and leave my friend. If he's, oh, yo, I'm waiting. No, listen, if you meet up with another group of friends that I know, I'll leave you. But no, oh, you met up with a girl, no. And especially, there's reports, and we don't know this yet, but he could have been drinking. That's even more. No, we're not doing that. And these are not big grown men. They're 18 years old. So I could go on forever. You guys have watched my videos before, or some of you must have, or you guys know about the information. We could go on a tangent about the questionable and shady things that those boys have done. And that is why they have the scrutiny that they have. But yes, we don't know their involvement, but there is enough that we could scrutinize them. So TMZ always does this. They're always trying to change the narrative for Joe McCann when it comes to Ashley Janae, trying to change the narrative when it comes to Carmelo Anthony. And here with Nolan Wells, it's always the same. It's always the same. And I feel like it's time to call them out for that. It's not just enough I do it here on my channel. It needs to be called out because they are a huge platform and they need to be held accountable. That is my 2 cents. And before I close this section up too, I just want to reiterate, as you guys know, I'm a staunch advocate for Christine. A mom, of course I feel bad for Elmore too, but a mom and her son, that's a different type of bond. Y'all know how close I am with my mother. That is a different type of bond. And for her to have been receiving those kind of threats, and for Ashley Cole, the judge, to have talked about threats and there's an arrest, and Christine, nah, man, we got to ride for Christine, man. And I think it's horrible that the arrests have been made for Ashley Cole and not for Christine. So I hope Christine sees this. I've been told that the family and some people have been watching my shows. Christine, I hope that you see that even when I am on TMZ, I'm advocating for you, and daily on this channel, I'm advocating for you, and also Elmore. All right, let's go over now. I'm going to talk to you about Warren's dad, the doctor. The nerve of him saying that he wants to sue Ben Crump. Ben Hudson, Warren's father, is accusing Benjamin Crump of pushing a false narrative about his son and others. Hudson says his family plans to sue Crump for defamation and slander. He told the New York Post, in my opinion, Ben Crump has slandered and falsely accused my son, his friends, of Nolan's passing, and he's pursued what's an obvious false narrative. I think he can expect lawsuits, not just from my family, but from a number of other families who, in my opinion, he defamed. Hudson also accused Crump of using the tragedy for financial and political gain. In my opinion, truth is not Benjamin Crump's concern. He's exploiting the situation and raising money. He added, I think this is financially exploiting this entire tragedy and making it a much bigger tragedy at the expense of my family and our community and the Wells family. Really? The Wells family? The Wells family hired Ben Crump. What are you talking about, sir? Crump responded to Hudson's claims saying, it's a distraction. We're not distracted at all by this. Thank you very much. Love that they're just like brushing their shoulders off. Like, listen, we're not even going to waste our time. That's what I say every day on this channel. We are not wasting our time with these silly distractions. Nothing. Where's Nolan's throat? What's going on with the autopsy? We want to wait to hear from Benjamin Crump for the CETO audio. And that is it. Like all of this, oh, we're suing, or we're doing this, the judge, whatever. No, the focus should be on Nolan's parents and Benjamin Crump. I say this every day. And I love that Benjamin Crump is not paying this any attention. Now, let's move on to the next distraction. Judge Ashley Cole. A California man faces a charge after authorities say he sent a message to the judge tied to Nolan Wells' passing. Joseph Dumar was charged with interstate transmission of a threatening communication, carrying up to 5 years in prison. Investigators alleged he used a username, which I'm not going to put out, to threaten Judge Ashley Cole, whose stepson is Warren Hudson, who traveled with Wells before he went missing. The message read, there will be a package coming to your guys' office in the next few days. It's going to blow you away when you see it. Probably best you have the boys with you to see it as well. That's like very disturbing. It goes on and shows you the other threats, which I am not going to read. I don't want to even give this any more attention. More importantly, this man, Joseph, was arrested, if I'm not mistaken, yesterday, and like the article says, faces up to 5 years in prison. Now, I want to make something very, very, very clear. I do not condone any threats. I don't anything at all. I am not a fan of Judge Ashley Cole at all. I don't like the fact that she used like what looked like a government judicial letterhead to put out this statement like 2 or 3 days after Nolan's body was found. I do not like that. I feel like it was actually she was breaking the law. I heard there are people looking into her comments. Regardless of all of that, regardless of my thoughts, nobody should be threatened. Having said that, like I said at the top, what about the threats that Elmore has gotten? What about the threats that Christine has gotten? Like, okay, fine, Benjamin Crump and this, whatever, okay, that comes with the territory. They're public figures. How do you feel? How do you think Christine and Elmore feel? They haven't even begun to process the passing of Nolan because they have to do interviews and talk with the DA and do press or whatever to keep their son's name in the headlines. They have said they cannot even have a moment to process. And then on top of that, they have to deal with threats. Ashley, again, it's wrong, but all you have to deal with is threats, and you're on here crying? This is really horrible. And like I said, it is just a distraction. Not right. I'm happy they arrested him, but please arrest everybody that is threatening, especially to Nolan Wells' parents. Now, speaking about Nolan Wells' parents, let's move on to an update with the autopsy. Nolan Wells' parents and Benjamin Crump spoke with Don Lemon. I have a little clip, and then, well, actually, I'm going to give you some information first, and then I'll play the clip, because the clip has nothing to do with the autopsy. The clip has something to do with Officer Tatum, and I loved what Christine said about Officer Tatum. It's what I've been saying every day, so I'm happy that she agrees with me. The state-run autopsy has been officially completed. The findings has been turned over to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, and the results will remain unreleased, aka sealed from the public, pending a grand jury. It will be presented to the grand jury first before we get any sort of information. Now, I do have a little bit more from that. Shout out to Ben Crump and Don Lemon. The family, Nolan's family and Benjamin Crump will be meeting with the DA next week to talk about the autopsy. Important to note that Christine and Elmore found out that the autopsy was complete from the media in the headlines before the DA even told them. The nerve, the audacity of these people. This is horrible.
Do y'all see how raggedy these people are when we don't take them to court ourselves? Do you see how raggedy that these people are when we just don't fight back other than words, like on the internet? Like, you know what I mean? I thank God for I used to get mad about the public opinion thing, right? And sometimes they get it wrong, but a lot of times we're now getting it right. It's like we're policing at this point in our life. We used to police our communities, right? It's like now we're back policing our communities, whether other people like it or not. It's like we're going out and we're saying, no, you're not going to do him like that. You know what I mean? They assassinate a person's character after they die. If they're a black boy, they then assassinate their character, and they will say they had rugs or they were, if you don't have a criminal background, oh, you're everything under the sun and roof. You know what I mean? It is insane how they do our young men. And these boys that recently, the last three boys were honor students, had some type of elite background, either prospect for the NFL, D1, just good, fine boys, right? And it's like they just go around like, let's do this, let's do that. We have to get something popping. It's election time. This shit happens around election time all the time, all the time. No, normally politically they make it a political thing. They playing games because we're on their ass. Let me tell you something. I don't like TikTok anymore because they censor us like we're kids, and that's a control mechanism. However, I can tell you they're on their ish over there. The whites, the black, all of them. That's not elite material. They're on their backs. You know what I mean? And I get it. They're gonna make money for clickbait, whatever. But they're not letting this go. They're not allowing them to do whatever they did. No one is gonna Carmelo Anthony this boy like they Carmelo Anthony, right? They played a game with him just as well, and I cannot wait until he's able to either get back in court or whatever it is. You know what I mean? God be with him every day. I'm sure he's getting a lot of mail, whatever it is. It was a division at that point. That's what they want, y'all. A division. But nobody gonna tell me if someone is racist not to call them racist. You know what I mean? And that's what they're doing, black people now. That's how they erase certain things and they erase certain things because now they start making you feel bad for calling them things. You know what I mean? Even though you see what you see, but they want you to believe what you hear instead of believing what you see. Y'all got to stop that.
Something very important that Benjamin Crumb said is that the DA can release information to the family if they want to, but they don't know if they will. So we do know we, the public, won't find out. Really sad, really shady. I would love to know, and I'm sure you all will know. I hope we do find out one day. But it's going to the grand jury, and some of you might differ and think, hey, it should go to the grand jury first.
Do y'all see how much control y'all have over y'all kids? When they tell you, you have to wait to find out what happened to your child. That goes for any race, in any race. If they're withholding or whatever that may be, or if they're not withholding, right? They have a right. They have a right to tell you. They don't have to tell you what happened to your child. When that report was done, the parents should have been the first effing people to know, not the internet. There should be a lawsuit. There should, it's so many layers to this ish, bro. There's no effing way nobody should hear through the internet that something is finished. That's crazy.
And I see that lens also. I just feel like because this case is so national and so many people are invested and there's so much misinformation, the sooner we get information, the sooner we could concentrate on the facts and receipts. And y'all know how much I love facts and receipts. That's why. But I understand waiting for a grand jury. I see both sides. But the DA can present some of the information, if not all the information, to Nolan's parents. I'm sure you can trust Christina Nelmore and Benjamin Crumb. You can make them sign something for them to at least.
They shouldn't have to sign shit. This woman carried her child for 9 months. Like, why do she have to do anything? Okay, you don't have to give details of what you're doing, but she needs to effing know what happened to her damn child. Oh my God, it got my head hurting over here.
Have some sort of reconciling and not keep them in the dark until it goes to the grand jury. Because remember, it can't go to the grand jury until the investigation is complete, and we don't know when that will be. So I hope they get some information, and it has been confirmed that the DA can. We just don't know if she will. It could take 2 days or it could take 2 months. We don't know when the investigation.
Y'all, what do y'all think? Come on, like, oh my God, like, what the hell do you think? What is your thoughts? Like, knock on wood that nothing like this will ever happen to you or your child. But when it comes, like, these people play these games that, and they leave you in the dark, and they don't answer you, they ignore you. Like, it doesn't matter what your skin tone, if someone is being protected or maybe being protected, it's just, I don't care. Like, whatever happened to someone's child, they should be able to be the first to know, or even common courtesy before it was released, because this is nothing but games. You release, oh, it's the autopsy is done, but you don't tell the fucking parents who the child. It lets you know that who you are. You are an affirmant, right? And they let you know that you submit. When you went and had your child, they asked you for your name and your damn signature in the hospital. And they rush you to do those things. You guys, please like the live, share the live. This as well. I got 50 people up in here. And I definitely appreciate my ex click. They've been going strong. Also, YouTube, thank you for that. We did well the other day on all platforms. And also Facebook gossip column. There we go. We talking about nothing but trash over here on that, right? Y'all let me know. And also, I forgot I'm on Twitch and Kick. So, and they're new. So you guys let me know what's going on. This is about 11 time going live, and we're doing pretty well. Y'all, we gotta have this conversation. Like, I'm telling my kids, first and foremost, come home. Protect yourself. Do not let nobody treat you less than a man or a woman. The end. You have rights to carry, then buy. Go somewhere to arrange, to learn how. That's it. Nobody should be invading in nobody's space. They have laws now that allow people to invade in your space, and you could be charged for smacking the pit. You know what I'm talking about. I can't say what I want to say, but 9 o'clock in them. I'm gonna use that word 9 o'clock in that person. They got laws to prevent you from protecting your private space now, y'all. Huh.
Is going to be done. Benjamin Crumb also highlighted the fact that the second independent autopsy cannot be completed until they get information and pictures from the first autopsy. Especially, well, two things: Nolan's throat, we know the details about that, and the lungs. Now, there's been a lot of speculation of, was the lungs sent to Dr. Roger Mitchell or not? I have confirmed that the lungs have been sent, but the reason why it's almost like he didn't get it, or why some people feel like he didn't get the lungs, is that the lungs have already been dissected, meaning that he doesn't know if there was water in there or not. He doesn't know about the airways. There's things that only a first autopsy can know, and a second autopsy is limited. So we need the remains, the bones of Nolan's throat. That we also need, and we also need the pictures and the information from the lungs. Very important to note, I feel this is very, very important. Even if it comes back that Nolan drowned, please don't feel like they were right the whole time, because Benjamin Crumb really wants us to know that even if he did drown, Roger Mitchell, the doctor who did the second autopsy, asks, how did he drown? Was he unconscious before? Did somebody push him? Or whatever? What is the state? So, okay, he drowned. Everyone's going to run with the fact, oh, it was an accidental drowning, case closed. No, just because you drown doesn't mean that there was no foul play. Doesn't mean that he wasn't held under. Doesn't mean that there could be a million things, and the result of him passing was from drowning. Now, I want to give a little bit more like evidence to that fact. There's been a viral clip going around for the past like couple of days of two friends, totally separate from Nolan Wells' case, but two friends that were on like a pier and they were fighting, grown men, like 50-year-old men. They got into a fight. One pushed the other guy, and it's all caught on camera. He falls down and he hits his head. The guy is unconscious. And then the friend, he's drunk, he doesn't even know what's going on. He takes him and throws him into the water. Now, how did the guy pass away? They'll do an autopsy and they'll see that he passed away from drowning. But no, it was obviously the guy, and now the guy's been arrested because it was caught on camera. So just because Nolan may have drowned, we still don't know yet. But if he does, we don't know the state he was in before drowning. Just like that guy pushed his friend, he hit his head. And hey, we all know that there was some discoloration on the back of Nolan's head too, right? So let's just not go crazy when we hear the results, okay? Now, Christine spoke with Don after Ben Crump. Christine said something really important. I don't know if you guys have heard this before, but she said one of Nolan's coaches who was on Horn Island on the same day said that he saw Nolan around 2:45 to 3:30 on the island. And by the way, the boat hadn't left at that time. The boat left at 4:31 to be exact. So he said that he saw Nolan, and very important, he said Nolan was not what everybody says, so drunk or inebriated or whatever. He said he was having a conversation and Nolan was fine. So that goes against
Oh, I'm sorry. The next question, I was talking to myself. The next question, when the coach or whomever say he saw him and he was talking fine, right? The next question would have been, when you saw him, who was he with? It's like everybody's just answering a 1-2 question and not getting down to the nitty gritty when all these people are coming out with all these simple hit or quitters. You get what I'm saying? So if you saw him, who was he with? You say he was fine, cool. But who was he with at that time? You know what I mean? Like, you just can't make me believe that a lot of things happen. Like, listen, for some reason we feel this ish in our bones. It's just we feel it in our bones. You guys, please like the live, share the live. Let me pay some bills a little bit. You feel me?
Life made you pause your education, but it is finally your turn. Get your diploma online with total flexibility. Message Nativa Alliance today.
Okay, you guys, I'm back. Let's finish this clip out.
Remember that dispatch, missing persons report that it's like, oh, Nolan was heavily drinking. He only had swim trunks on. We don't know what he was eating before. I played that for you. I showed that for you like 2 or 3 days ago. So there's reports that, oh yes, he was this, he was that, whatever. A coach told Christine, no, he was fine. I had a full-on conversation with him. And that was around 2:45, 3:30. Very, very important information. Now, Dawn asked about Officer Dingbat, former Officer Tatum, and Christine shut it down right away. She said, absolutely no comment. I'm going to play the clip for you in a second. Then Dawn goes on to say, all right, I know you don't want to talk about him, but what do you think about Nolan's friends that are being interviewed by Officer Dingbat? And she says, that's a distraction. No comment. What happened to my son? I love Christine because I try my best not to talk about Officer Tatum. For those who watch this channel daily, I have no choice sometimes but to bring him up, for example, like in the TMZ interview or some little things, but we really have to do our part on not platforming him, not watching his videos. The more videos and the more clicks he gets, the more Instagram impressions, the more he's in the algorithm, the more he's going to keep on going. And if you think that he's just going to stop with this case, no, the next case that involves a black boy, girl, man, or woman, or is going to be right there front and center for the other side, telling us how horrible we are and how white people are this and white people are that. Like, you know, the shucking and jiving he's going to do. So please listen to this clip and see how Christine does not want us to platform Officer Dingbat.
When you talk about all the things that have been spread, there is this officer, I hate mentioning his name, a former officer who is a far right wing, who's been doing the interviews and has been saying, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not even going to comment on Brandon Tatum. No.
I respect that. Why did I even mention him? Because he doesn't deserve a platform.
No, he does not.
All right. After Christine, Benjamin Crump came back on and explained Christine and her sending a subpoena to social media platforms and also becoming the sole executor of Nolan Wells' estate. Now, Ben explained to Dawn, he said that because we are not the law, we had to open an estate for Nolan. And now Nolan's estate can speak on the behalf of Nolan, and Nolan's estate can now demand the preservation of evidence. That is why she did it. He said, we had to threaten to sue so that we could preserve evidence. So, AKA going to Snapchat and say, hey, we are representative of Nolan Wells' estate. We are speaking on his behalf. We might sue and we might need something. So we want to put you on notice to preserve this evidence in case we might sue. Just want to put it out there. It doesn't mean that she's suing all social media platforms. So I thought it was really cool of Benjamin Crump to clear the air for us. And also shout out to Dawn. That was a really, really dope interview. Even after all that, I am still shocked that Harvey had the nerve to say that Nolan wasn't on the boat. I mean, I just talked about a bunch of other things that's still on my mind. How dare he? How dare he? And then say, well, I know because Officer Tatum's video. And by the way, no, I'm not going to play the video again. All right. I just play. It sucks that I had to play it even in the clip, the TMZ clip. But anyways, I'm still mad. Anyways, it is your turn. Sound off. And please, I'm open-minded. You think I'm being too hard on TMZ? Do you feel like Harvey has the right to say that when the investigation is still not complete? Please let me know. Let me know how you think I did on TMZ. Let me know if you think I held them accountable. And let me know what you think about me calling out the fact that Ashley has the
Let's see what see what it was about. You know what I mean? Let's see what it was about. Okay. TMZ. Okay, let's see what he's talking about.
We were just live on TMZ. See me right there on the TV. What up, Charles? What up?
Hold on 1 second. He was so happy to be on it. For sure. Hold on a second. What the heck is TMZ? On TMZ. I'm trying to get it, but is this TMZ? No, it's not. Oh, this Trent. Like, okay. Hold on a second. Copy. So what do you guys think? Do you think? Oh my God, why? I don't know. I want TMZ to. Okay. Let's see what he says.
We were just live on TMZ. See me right there on the TV. What up, Charles? What up, Harvey? We were live on the TMZ's YouTube and TikTok account, and they will be editing it and putting it on TV tonight. Make sure you check out the Trent Out Loud show on TMZ. Here is the clip.
This has just been such a perplexing case. But there are a couple of leads that, if they pan out, could be, huge in solving.
I'm so happy they didn't
crossed.
stick it to him.
Trent Out Loud, YouTuber, thank you very much for having me. All right, two things really quickly. One, my heart goes out to Savannah and her family. To the latest email that you guys got, why would you be doing all that and just ask for one Bitcoin? The reward is already $50,000. And lastly, about the recent video that just came out, typically, whenever the FBI releases a video like this, they are very, very close to finding their suspect. My prediction is that we're going to see an arrest within the next 24 to 48 hours. They didn't put this video out for us, the public. They released this video to smoke out their suspect.
Well, they didn't release that video. If you're talking about,
No, he's talking about the video. You're talking about at Nancy's front door.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm also talking about the one that you guys just played.
That one
with.
was posted on Ring. That was posted on a neighborhood app.
That
so
wasn't-
the FBI had nothing to do with
but
that.
we can tell you, we know they're looking at it.
Right.
So it could be a hot lead. You know, you raise something that other people have raised with us, and we should address it. That one of the reasons you wonder, why is he asking for just one Bitcoin, 67,000?
Where's deeper?
This is the only reason why the
We were just live on TMZ. See me right there
I'm
on the
so
TV.
sorry.
What up, Charles? What up, Harvey?
Where's deeper?
Why
We were just live on TMZ. See me right there on the TV.
I
What
thought
up, Charles?
Roland
What up,
up.
Harvey? We were live on the TMZ's YouTube and TikTok account, and they will be editing it and putting it on TV tonight. Make sure you
I'm
check
so
out
mad. I'm
the
so
Trent Out
sorry.
Loud show on TMZ. Here is the clip.
This has just been such a perplexing case.
But there are a couple of leads that, if they pan out, could be, huge in solving this. So fingers crossed.
Trent Out Loud, YouTuber, thank you very much for having me. All right, two things really quickly. One, my heart goes out to Savannah and her family. Two, the latest email that you guys got, why would you be doing all that and just ask for one Bitcoin? The reward is already $50,000. And lastly, about the recent video that just came out, typically, whenever the FBI releases a video like this, they are very, very close to finding their suspect. My prediction is that we're going to see an arrest within the next 24 to 48 hours. They didn't put this video out for us, the public. They released this video to smoke out their suspect.
Well, they didn't release that video. If you're talking about,
No, he's talking about the video. You're talking about at Nancy's front door.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm also talking about the one that you guys just played
That one
with.
was posted on Ring. That was posted on a neighborhood app.
That
so
wasn't-
the FBI had nothing to do with
but
that.
we can tell you, we know they're looking at it.
Right.
So it could be a hot lead. You raise something that other people have raised with us, and we should address it. That one of the reasons you wonder, why is he asking for just one Bitcoin, $67,000? Well, he's saying he needs money because he's going to probably have to quit his job if he has one, go underground for a while, and he needs to live. Secondly, if you've noticed that in the not too recent past, not too distant past, there have been situations where rewards have been offered, but they haven't been paid for various reasons because there's been a dispute over whether somebody's entitled. So, in a way, this is short-circuiting that.
And also, in a way, him asking for just one Bitcoin.
It gives it
makes
more credibility.
Yes, more
It gives it more credibility.
If he had asked for some, ridiculous number, then you'd say he's just being extortionate. This seems like
I
more in
agree.
line with the reward that's being offered.
Both Harvey and Charles made a good point about that one Bitcoin. The reward is 50K. One Bitcoin is around 50, 60K. You don't have to worry about giving out your name. You don't have to worry about collecting the reward. But it is still weird, because if that's the case, why didn't the FBI just give him the Bitcoin? I don't know. We'll talk about this and more on the Trent Out Loud show, link in bio. And do not forget to catch us live weekdays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Twitch. We were just live on TMZ. See me right there on the TV. What up, Charles? What up, Harvey? We were
First and foremost, it kind of went down. It kind of went down a little funkier than that. He said Nolan Wells case update, arrest made. I don't nobody care about stuff that happened with the judge. Don't nobody care about that. He said will racism, blah blah blah. So they'll go. Sorry, it's gonna happen, boo. Sorry. I'm trying to find the whole thing. Emergency release call. Yes, they're being very biased on whatever it is. TMZ, Trent. Let me see if they got the whole thing. Okay, TMZ, you with the bullshit. Y'all, but where they be hiding the videos at when you be looking for the videos? This is crazy. Let me see, Nancy Grace. Okay, let's see what Nancy got to say. He said TMZ is considered being credit for breaking the first story, demanding the entertainment news landscape change the ways the public gets their news regular. Shut up, Harvey. I don't hear nothing you saying, Harvey. Nothing at all. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I don't see this guy right here. He's a bootlicker, y'all. I can't stand this guy. Bootlicker. Let's see what's going on in later news. Cause I seen some things that 4 minutes ago. He be talking too slow him. Okay, let's go here. 4 minutes ago. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Could this be him? I don't know. Maybe it is. What you think?
P-A-S-C-A-L. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
Him or not? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to look at the video here in just a little bit. But you know for a fact everybody and their mama's been side-eyeing the boys that were supposed to bring him back home, that left him behind. Because, I mean, let's be real. They did leave him behind, okay? Technically, they did, okay? But a lot of people are side-eyeing Warren, Wyatt, Bart, and them, right? Because of what they told, their story, their side of the story of what Nolan allegedly told them before they left him on that island. Okay, but here's the thing: we can side eye, all of them, all we want all day long. But at the same time, we need to see what the facts are. We need to see the proof. Here are three things that are going to bother me, and I'm going to keep on asking. Three questions that I'm going to keep on asking till I'm blue in the face. Okay, number one, what about Katie? I know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here saying attack Katie. I'm not saying that at all. That is furthest from the truth. All right. But
what are you
technically
saying?
the last person that we know of that saw Nolan
And you don't
was
even
alive.
know that
So
to be true
why are we
yourself.
asking questions to Katie? Why haven't we? And I understand she's not going to step out to the public, to the court of public opinion and tell her piece. But it would be nice to get some more clarity.
Katie clearly stated Nolan was headed back to the boat with his friends. The only thing I'm not clear on, did she actually see? Because the boys are speaking for her. And clearly she time-stamped herself somewhere at a certain time on the boat with different people. So we can stop saying we need to ask Katie anything. The only thing I would want to ask Katie, did you physically see him get on the boat when he said he was leaving to go back on the boat with his friends? Why would he say he's gone on the boat with his friends? Just think about it, y'all. And the friends say they were leaving him. Why wouldn't he say, I'm going to find a ride back home? Just think about it. You guys are saying, Katie's saying, I'm finna go get on the boat with my friends. The friends are saying he said, I'll get a ride. Why did he not tell Katie that I'm going to find me a ride back to land instead of saying I'm going to ride back with my friends? So obviously they had to be still there. Just think about it.
About what happened, around the time that she was hanging out with Nolan. Where did he end up walking? Did he walk down the island in the opposite direction of where, Wyatt and Warren and all them and Bart and them were all fixing the boat? Did he walk towards that direction? Did he have an altercation? Et cetera, right? That's question number one. Number two is, I've been saying this like crazy, but who was boat number two? Yes, who could be boat number two? Again, he said, if it's true, according to the friends, remember, Katie said he's going back. He said he was going back to the boat to go back with Wyatt and them back to the mainland. They say he said he was going to catch a ride with somebody back to the mainland. Now, did he say a name? Did he ever walk up to a person and go, yo, can I hitch a ride with you? Is it all right if I can hitch a ride with you? And did Ray them say, yeah, we got you, bro. See you in 15 minutes. We gonna be anchors up. if in 15 minutes. If they actually say anchors up, I don't even know. Okay, asking for a friend. But here's the thing. Nonetheless, we still do not know anything about boat number 2. And I'm going to keep on at it. Should be a damn t-shirt at this point. Okay, who be boat number 2? Okay, then the third most important question is what happened. This is the third question. What happened to Nolan Wells from 3 p.m. to the point where when his body washed up ashore? What is the timeline? Because we do not know that timeline. Yes, all day long we could sit there and go, ooh, damn it, Bart. Whoa, dun, dun, dun. Oh, no. Did Bart do something? Oh, no. Did Wyatt and Warren and them do something? But we've never looked beyond the doggone bilge pump boats unsank situation. And we need to start looking at the timeline after he said, I ain't staying with y'all. I'm staying with Katie, bro. And I'm going to hitch a ride later. Now, if he never said anything to anyone about a name or a boat that he was about to go on, like, yo, I'm going on the little Titicaca road over there, right? You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? I'm going on Mac Daddy right over there. If he didn't say any of that, who did he actually end up going and talking to? What other people did he run into, chop it up with? Did he go and I don't know, shotgun a whole bunch of beers or seltzers, you know what I'm saying? Like some White Claws or something like that. You know, what is the timeline after? Did he roll one and smoke one? What actually happened after 3 p.m. when he chucked up the deuces to his friends and said, I'm going to hang out with Katie, see if I can get a little, whatever from her, digits or more. Okay. What actually happened after that? That's all I'm asking. I think we all want to know, right? But now we got another possible sighting of Nolan freaking Wells. And I'm going to ask you guys, is this really him or no? I don't know. We're going to look at it in close up in a little bit. We have got to get into this. And again, like I said, we got the video. We're going to take a look at the video and all that as well. But again, I'm just sitting here going like, yo, what is going on here? What's truly happening here? Because this is getting extremely confusing. And of course, TMZ was able to unearth this piece of footage for us to take a gander at. So let's take a mother-loving gander at this article and the video itself as well. Again, they're saying a possible sighting of him again. Remember the video where he was like sitting on the end of a boat. We were all wondering if it said Big Daddy, Little Daddy. Apparently it's called Mac Daddy. And a lot of people are speculating that that's Katie's dad's boat. I don't know if that's confirmed or not, but that's what the rumor mill has been saying as of late. And the question still remains, was that footage of him at the end of that boat, apparently now it's called Mac Daddy, was that him right after he said, bye guys, I'm hanging out with Katie? And here's the thing. If it was him after hanging out with Katie and that happens to be Katie's daddy, and Mac Daddy is his boat and all that, woo, we got some problems, because that means her timeline and her story ain't adding up anymore. And then you insert right then the sound bite of dun, 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 right? Now, here's the thing, though. We don't have any confirmation about any of that stuff yet. And of course, we're going to be looking into that, I'm sure. And I'm sure more information will pop off in due time. But let's take a look at this. Again, this could be him. May not be him, but let's take a look in just a second. So a newly surfaced video from Horn Island on July 4th may provide a potential clue in the search for Nolan Wells, with footage appearing to show the boat he was allegedly last seen on. Yes, we're going to be looking at that video in just a few minutes, or in just a few moments here. Okay, at the end of this clip, the Mac Daddy boat, which of course we all know this photo right here is from a still that we already talked about. And it's not Lil Daddy or Big Daddy, it's Mac Daddy. I didn't know this dude was so hood. You know, I didn't know he was hood from the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Miggity, 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 Mac Daddy. Nobody? Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. But anyway, Mac Daddy was the boat's name, not Little Daddy, not Big Daddy. All right. So at the end of this clip, the Mac Daddy boat is clearly seen and appears to match the footage obtained by TMZ, the article we're reading here from the same day, which could be the final sighting of Nolan Wells before his actual disappearance. So you got this footage here, and then there's another video from another angle, and you can see it clear as day that it says Mac Daddy, and it's written in the same type of font, same coloring, and all that. The only difference is the people on the boat are different. They're just different faces, different people. Looks like maybe it could be Katie if Mac Daddy is the boat that belongs to Katie's daddy, then this would be very interesting. So the clip was posted by a person who said they captured the footage. This is where it gets interesting. Captured the footage on July 4th at 11:07.
You guys, what if it is a twist that, just say for instance, right, that the I don't think the friends. I'm like on edge about actually if the friends really, like, are we thinking wrong, right? I really think athletically he was strong enough to whatever, right? I think a grown person, I think this situation stems from a grown person, you guys. Because we got to not act like the young boy probably was weak because he could take hits. He was athletic, right? So if that is him at the end of the boat doing whatever he's doing, something, like I said, some people or something did something. You know what I mean? Not saying that they didn't, because you got to look at everybody. I don't give a damn who get mad about any of it, right? Or oh, sorry, who get mad about any of it, right? However, I keep going back to somebody, another adult, doing this to this boy. I think in a stronger size, an adult did this to this boy. That's just what I think at this point. I don't care who's putting up money. People put up money knowing doggone where they done something. So I'm not saying they did or they did not, right? But I think an adult did whatever they did to him and went too far. Do I think he got unalive on a boat? I don't. I don't think he got unalive on a boat. I think whatever took place, it was about a girl, right? And it's gonna go back to the Emmett Till thing, where they said he did whistled or whatever, 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 and they kidnapped him because they didn't go into the people's house and do that. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. In the 80s and 90s, and no offense to nobody, white people didn't beat nobody up. I went to a predominantly white school, and they were cool. We were cool with them. They were cool with us. We didn't do all that dumb shit. You get what I'm saying? All the shit that you hear now did not go on back then. Now, if you try to bring your black kid to a predominantly black school, there's not enough black people in that school. Yes, bullying probably will take place because they feel like you shouldn't be there, even though your mother trying to force you into the lifestyle that she wants. You know what I mean? Don't know how it's gonna affect you. How, you know what I mean? So I think an adult did this to him. I definitely think an adult, and I think that we probably will be shocked. And if we don't be shocked, and if we are wrong, they're gonna pin this shit on somebody. And Katie being swinging, so some things are about to go down. That's all I can say. And I think we're gonna be shocked on who it really is. I think they're closer than what they're saying. Um, Obviously, they're bringing it to the grand jury while everything is not, well, everything is, don't believe like the autopsy was never finished. They just announced it because they were trying to see what they were going to do. They knew that those people was not going to be able to figure out certain things without the throat and without whatever it is, right? So all I'm saying now is we're gonna be shocked. Now, bootlicker is somebody, I think he didn't do it on the, y'all gonna be shocked. It's gonna be drugs involved. If some drugs involved, they pushed it, they forced it. You could tell certain kids, like, I'm sorry, you could just tell when certain kids will do something. And it's something in your bones when you know. Even when your kid is a bad motherfucker, you know your kid did something. It's in your bones. You know. You walk in the room with certain kids. You know your kids bring people around. You feel that vibe, and you just look like I don't really care for him. And you know what I mean? Well, mama, da 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 da. And I'm like, I'm telling you, you make sure you know what I mean. Like I won't say everything I'll say, but certain kids I don't vibe with as a parent because you feel the vibe. It's the energy, and the energy just be off with that person. So we have doctors, we have attorneys, we have everybody involved with this mug for the publicity. Nobody's still worrying about Nolan or his mom. That's the f the part. Even if you're even if you are blaming my child, I'm gonna send some regards. I'm gonna send flowers. Even if I'm afraid to go to the funeral, I'm gonna send some shit. If my child, oh, you're my best friend. We got y'all. I have a lot of people that be at my house. Well, not anymore. Like talking about because I told them I just want my peace because they're older, and we do things, recreation things like on Sundays, different stuff like that now, right? But y'all, there's not one child that I probably have never met that hung around my children. And all of them are not best friends. They hang because of mutual friends. You know, you have a friend. I'm cool with that friend, but he has friends. I'm not cool with. I'm cordial with them, but they're not my friends because everybody's not everybody cup of tea. Because you take pictures with people on outings, don't mean that you're effing friends. Okay, you know, I keep seeing one picture of this person. He's my best friend. Look, you got one picture with him. You got two pictures with him. Look, get on the internet and post buku pictures of your best friend. That's your friend. I'm gonna show love. You could blame me for whatever. If I know I didn't do something, that's my effing best friend. And I wouldn't be so posh, like just so standoffish, deer faced. If my friend just passed and I say this is my best friend, and the mad part about it, the parents never met him. Y'all gotta stop going around saying he just hung around white people. That's not true. He had a plethora of black friends that his mom them knew. Biracial, whatever you want to call it. Like we gotta stop saying this stuff. Like, I mean, we're gonna be shocked. I believe, in my opinion, we're gonna be shocked. And we might not even believe whoever this person is. You know why we're not gonna believe it? Because we're gonna say some of them gonna still say you're protecting those boys. And I'm not gonna lie. I do think I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it, but I don't believe none of them. I believe all of them know what the hell that has happened. I believe all of them are being hush mouth because certain people might have certain dirts on other people and they not gonna out them out. You know what I mean? I believe there's probably two people that are prominent people going at it right now. I think one person, child, uncle, someone either told them what to do or they did it themselves. Some one way or the other. You got to be a sick individual to bring somebody out on water and do something to them. I will pray to God that this is just not true. I pray to God that somebody, like they just need peace. I don't even want to pray to God for that, but they just need peace. My thing is, what was this young boy's last hours? Was he in fear? This is shit that y'all don't talk about. Did he suffer? You know what I mean? That's the shit I be thinking about. Did he suffer? You know what I mean? Did it happen fast? That's the shit I be worried about. I'm not worried about those BEs as ninjas. You know what I mean? I'm worrying about what was that young boy who did nothing to no damn body, and why did they think he does? Why did anybody think that's if his life was taken? Why do you think it was okay to be the jury, the judge, and the God that created this realm or whatever, his mama, his daddy? How do you get to decide this? What is wrong with us? See, let me tell you something. When y'all stop being so afraid of words, okay? When y'all stop as melanated people, and I'm sorry to say this, not trying to be incite violence, but violence against violence, people will stop. If you go around, oh, I gotta wait on the evidence all the time. Let me tell you something on my life. I don't know what I will do, but I know what I won't do. Okay? And I mean that. You got black males right now on the internet saying, if you kill my child, I'm gonna kill yours. And I'm like, shit is getting real. See, the one thing they think, you are in fear to do anything. That's why these kids practice certain things. You know what I mean? They think they could do whatever they want. When I tell you the TikTok, the males are saying they're gonna be okay with going to jail, whatever it is. You cannot do that to people anymore. Like, people are tired. A woman carried her child for what, 8, 9 months, right? 9 effing months. And then you decide this is their day because of whatever that fucking may be, or your day, right? And you can say black on black crime, right? But they're killing so many people across seas. Y'all could say there are different cultures of people or whatever, but they're white. There creates millions of them with no hesitation, no nothing. So if you tell me anything about black on crime, I don't give a fuck. Don't tell me nothing about nothing. We don't get out of the bed and go to somebody's church house and do shit to them. I'm tired of hearing the bullshit. I'm telling you, the men are tired. The uncles are tired. The grandfathers are tired. It's time to tear down and destroy that organization they got within Mississippi. And I believe that this case is gonna I believe that there's gonna be way more arrests than y'all think about, things we didn't even know about. That's what I think. Get ready for the ride, because election is coming, and this what type of time they be on when it's election time. Hello? Oh, okay. I thought my thing cut off. This is the type of time that they be on when it's election time, y'all. I'm just telling you. So y'all can buckle y'all seats. We have the House of Representatives. We have the Senate. Everybody's seats up for grabs. Every fucking body. And not to be off subject, but the victims of the Epstein files, the guy, I don't know if he was involved with that, but they did not bring him in. They did not what you call that? Oh Lord Jesus. Certify him. They postponed it because the women's went door to door to every senator, and they got 2 Republican senators saying hell to the no. Y'all got to understand, both parties work together. You got to get your kids with great values to get in those seats. Teach them. My school is Nativa Alliance Community High School online. We have to unbrainwash our children, every fucking body. The elite will always win. I don't care what you are. You are look poor white people or average white people look like niggas to the elite white people. They don't care a fuck about y'all either. But yet we sit up here and put y'all on a pedestal, not me, because you sweat and tears just the fuck like me. Everything I gotta do, you do too. You don't get to do something freely in here that I can't do. It's time for to shut that Mississippi shit now. It's time. All these black people getting hung. These people ain't hanging they fucking self. And ain't nobody talking about it. Because you don't want to investigate. All these people getting hung and y'all call it lynching. Stop calling that shit lynching. Because they're going to put it in the books. The history books. Like this person, which color got a lynching. No, ain't nobody lynching. They just evil fucking people. That don't have no room in society for them. That's what they are. They evil people that don't have a place in society. I'm not labeling nothing. You have no sense of human nature when you could kill on flinch. And do I know people? Yeah, back in the day, right? Because it was the environment. They took jobs away from the elder men. Sent them across seas. Y'all said nothing. None of y'all. Not everybody crying about immigrants. The immigrants went all through the black communities, taking our beauty salons, corner stores, not putting shit back in our neighborhoods. They living in 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Now we mad. Y'all mad because we mad. Want to call somebody Africans, a fucking continent. We ain't no goddamn continent. I'm a part of the Louisiana Creole Maroons. That's where I am. We are indigenous in this land. They ran the Mississippi. They don't tell y'all that. Go in the archives and read that shit. We did an agreement with the United States. There were continents here. There wasn't states. There wasn't parishes. There wasn't none of that. You got to learn, bro. It's time for Mississippi, like all that close friend, close net shit. It's time to stop it. We have a new generation of kids that want to be friends with each other. Let that shit go. Let it happen. That's on y'all decided to listen to your uncles, great uncles. Listen to a man that wanted a white woman. It's on my TikTok. Everything is documented what I'm saying. His daddy made him not do it because he could not, the black community would not let him lead. He's the reason why we're in this system now. Didn't nobody come here and conquer nothing. You had the barbarian slave trade that we protected white people when they came over here. Like they went through shit and they're still not holding on to shit. We live other leaders, black leaders make us hold on to shit. Our ancestors went through stuff. They know, listen, it's a number game. They taught us to believe what we hear, not what we see. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. Didn't no white person call me out my name, no niggas, no nothing. Because they will get bust the fuck up. That's the truth. So how the fuck you was in slavery when you was nowhere around that shit? I was born in 72. I ain't seen no fucking body cleaning nobody goddamn house unless they were paying them. And they went home to their own damn house. All this Jim Crow and all these other words they be trying to put redlining what? My grandmother, everybody own their own fucking property. So what are you talking about redlining? We had a 5 bedroom, 2 bathroom, living room, den, carport, outhouse, all that shit. Houses was like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 back then. We allow people to come in this country. They give them money and then press the people that's here. That's how we paying damn near $30,000, $40,000 for cars. Stop buying them. They will go down. Stop purchasing. They will go down. They can't go up on prices unless it's a demand for it. We're our own destruction at this point. Every fucking body. In America, we're the only people that's paying triple the amount that shit that nobody else will pay. So it's time for this. Listen, Mother Nature is speaking. You conquered the fucking woman. The woman was the god of this earth. She's the birth of this earth. At the end of the day, she's talking, she's speaking, she's telling you this shit ain't finna go the way you want it to go. Just look how last year every top executive had resigned out of the blue. Out of the blue, y'all. Y'all think that this shit is done? This shit ain't near done. Done. Them people across there that we're helping, go on live stream and look how it looks over there. Iran is not fucking playing. And we sit in business as usual until business don't be as usual anymore. Okay? If I'm gonna keep it a buck, and y'all might get mad with me. If the United States was winning, they'd have been on those people land, been made their president cease, Ben took him in, Ben grabbed all their soldiers. I know we not winning. I know we not winning. Y'all not gonna win nothing else. Mother Nature ain't gonna let you win. Mother Nature will suck you up. You think like you could keep threatening him and keep talking about a group of people who is very nice to every fucking body, even the melanated people that we know that we're not alike, like the Africans that everybody keep getting mad because we want to say we're not something you're saying we are, because history itself is written down telling us that we were here. We didn't come here. Some of our people left up out of here. A lot of our people was sent out of America. You have countries with people that look just like us. They might speak a little something else, right? But Africans and us are not, we look nothing alike. Just like white people. All white people are not alike. They're just not. It's just what it is. Let me tell you something. Africans are the only people on the earth that I have read, and I'm still reading, that can have albino kids. So, what do you think? Listen, we can get off that. Let me get off that, because that's a whole nother conversation. When we get the Nolan thing, I'm gonna get down to the nitty gritty. I am a paralegal or whatnot, and that's how I ended up studying, because I have to go in the archives and read certain things, and I have to go in the Black dictionary, the book Law Dictionary, to read certain things. I didn't know we was considered property. That's in the Law Dictionary. We are property. It says it in the Black Law Dictionary. All of us are property. We consider property. Under properties, look, it say persons. When y'all be like, oh, they don't consider us human. Shit, the head people don't consider none of our asses as human. All of our asses is cattle. Until you give your God-given rights back. Why you think when your child come in here, they ask you your name first and a signature? Think about it. I don't believe in that sovereign shit. I don't believe in sending stuff to the IRS. I don't believe in a lot of ish. Okay? Y'all stop letting them people go online telling you they could do one. If you don't get your nation, you don't mean shit. You're going to be under a nation, okay? You have to create your nation. There's a lot of people in America have their own nation on this land. And they have their own tribunals, their elders, and everything else, council, mayors, everything. Stop letting these people play with y'all. Mississippi, it's time for it to stop. And y'all think Mississippi is majority white? It is not. I've been to Mississippi. I used to go when I was young. My neighbor was a preacher there. He moved, like in Baton Rouge, right? And I went there. The people I don't know, like, you just must have serial killers. Because I went there and white people was not dirty and nasty to me. You went to the stores, you went wherever, they were very nice. And not saying that this shit don't happen, because obviously something happens, right? But they press it so you could believe in certain things because you have evil people. I look at people as evil people. And that's how you got to look at life. People are evil people. I'm just being honest. I look around me, I get up and go. My neighbors are, you know what I mean, white, whatever. They don't bother me. I don't bother them. We speak, we go about our business. That's it. They don't roll their eyes and roll their neck and toot their lips. The people took my garbage can, made a mistake and dumped my garbage can in a trash can. I'm in the area where I have homeowners. I had a bag where I ate some crabs. I stuck that bag outside in front of my truck. The black bitch across the street called the people and I said, you do what you got to do. And I wrote them an extensive letter. You want to play the game with me? You're going to fix this motherfucker up. You're going to paint this motherfucker. You're going to do all the cracks. I took pictures of everybody, whatever. You're going to fix this MF up. Sprinkler. When I moved in here, they had to fix that. They wouldn't even fix it at first. I don't play no games. Everything is about the stroke of a pen, and you have to learn how to stroke up the pen. Everything is you documented sue. Everything is about a stroke of a pen, y'all. When they slam the door in your face, go fucking sue them. They got to answer you at that point. Make sure it's grounds and whatever it is. Like if you go on your district attorney, he's not. Okay, mishandling of case. Just go. Sue him for mishandling a case. Now you got to present that in front of a fucking judge. Stop arguing with these people. My mama got killed in front of me when I was 10. They lied on me on paper. This man walked. You understand? I got a case right now in civil court waiting to be seen. Now the lawyers and stuff, they judges. Everybody want to ignore. So if you saying that I don't know what I'm saying, I'm going through it now. Know that mama did the right thing. Get head of a state. You have to answer whoever is the head of his estate. And it's sad you got to do that, and that's your child, but you have to do it because they got policies that we follow, not law. We don't no longer follow law. We follow policies. That's why when a policy is wrong, you go to the courts because the Supreme Court is the highest court. The only court is the real court. That's why they go by law. They don't go by policies. The district courts go by policies. Go read it. Go read all of it. They go by policies. When you get arrested, that's a policy that was presented. They call it law, but you cannot create new laws. You have to, the Congress present policies, rules, because of the emergency thing. They call it emergency or whatever to protect some type of protective class of people, right? And guess what you could do? You could go right to the courts and effing dispute it. Why? Why this? Why that? And you do it, the right way. Let me tell you something. Trusting lawyers is the worst thing. You're your own lawyer. And I have to get the statutes on it. All people are their own lawyers. You're entitled to your own stay. You just got to learn their procedures. You got to learn their procedures because you're in their courts. Do you know that you don't have to go to court at all? You don't have to go to court at all. I had a wreck. We handled it civil. Police stopped. Civilly handled, sir. He asked a bunch of questions. Civilly handled, sir. See, y'all don't know that. Like a wreck, you and that person change information and you're okay. You let the officer know we okay. We handled it civil. And he had to leave. He was mad, talking shit, but he had to leave. You just got to learn. We got to stop letting everybody teach us things. You got to go learn this stuff yourself. Your own self-destruction. All this crime, you're now your own self-destruction. We got 50-something million Black people in America. We have no business in a position we're fucking in. I don't give a damn. We have millions. We have no business. That's why they bring other people in the country, because we outnumber certain people. My thing is, and it's not to do anything to anybody, because I'm going to have a biracial grandkid. It's just, I'm telling you, I stand for me. What I born, I stand for my people. I don't care. And I'm going to protect my grandkids, all of them. We have to stop letting people bait us into these things, looking on the outside. Stop looking on the outside of you. Look in the inside of you. You would know. You would know, like common sense. A human being would know something happened beyond what they say happened to this boy. I don't care what nobody say. Common sense. Something happened. You feel it in your bones. It's like when your child walked through your door You feel it. You know when something's wrong. When your child died, you know this ain't my child. When even if he drowned, we got to figure out, did they push him in there? Was he in fear? How did he die? You know what I mean? Was he strangled before he went in there? Somebody gone. I don't know if they're trying to get their money together or what's going on. We let the grand jury hear. That needs to stop too. You don't know who the grand jury is. You don't know if they cousins, friends. You don't know if they're a family full of people. You don't know what that is. It's time, y'all. It's just, y'all, it's time. Put it out your mouth and put it in your hand. The man with Project 2025 studied the Louisiana woman and the Virginia woman. They never studied the man. They never studied a man. You know why? Because the woman is the organizer. She the one see things through. The man is supposed to be the protector and the muscle. But you got men, oh my God, if I had something happen to me, what about my kids? Nigga, we gonna take care of the motherfucker. That's what's gonna happen. No, we got men cursing women out, worrying about their nails, hair, fingernails, shit like that. And I'm not talking about all black men, because we got some good goddamn black men. But the mass majority that be on TikTok, them the ones that live with their mama. Majority of them. They always have an excuse about why they ain't making it, blaming somebody else. And when you get on them, what about the black woman? What about her? She's not in 1970. She's owning her house, whether she keep it or not. She got a good job. She went her ass back to school. She want to elevate. The majority of women now, when you look at them, they look mad. They don't keep their self up no more. They just look mad all the time. They don't even speak to you when you pass them no more because they so miserable. But let me get off there because that's another topic. I'm just going off record. I'm sorry, y'all. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. I'm sorry. I had to get that shit off my chest. This shit got to stop, y'all.
17 a.m. before the area became crowded. In our video, metadata shows the video was recorded at 2:23 p.m., making this sighting way earlier in the day. I think they mean way later in the day because obviously 11:17 a.m. is later in the day. Like
I ain't gonna lie, you kind of boring. He kind of boring. Let me find somebody. Let me find somebody. Where my other people at? Hold on one second. He's kind of bored. Okay, I like this guy right here. Where he went.
This is crazy, guys, but allegedly there's a new sighting of Nolan Wells. Footage from Horn Island. There's somebody else who is taking footage on that day that captures the boat that he allegedly was on in a previous video that came out. Remember, we were wondering if it said Little Daddy, if it said Big Daddy. Actually, the boat is called Mac Daddy. Okay, so a little throwback to the 90s there. All right, but nonetheless, Mac Daddy was seen in another area, and it looks like, if you look at the very end of this video, it looks a lot like that is Nolan Wells sitting on the end of the boat. Take a look at this.
Hey, we're out here. Everybody's coming out still at 11:15 at the island. Happy 4th.
Now, if you zoom in and you take a look at that, I mean, it does look a lot like Nolan Wells, but they're saying that the footage was taken, at least the person who actually took the footage is saying that it was taken around 11:17 a.m. But then, according to TMZ, the metadata shows around like around 2:30 p.m. is when this video was actually taken. And if that is the case, that would mean that he was hanging out on that boat for a good while before he actually said goodbye, or before he allegedly told his friends that he was going to stick around on the island. So the question still remains, is this actually Nolan right here or not? And then the thing is this too. If this footage, if Mac Daddy, the boat is actually allegedly Katie's dad's boat, would that go against the narrative that she's put out here too? Now, again, like I said, it's allegedly her dad's boat. But this is something that we're all trying to get clear on. So again, if she was hanging out with him longer than just a few minutes, then that would kind of go against the story and the narrative that she's been giving us or to the public, right? Anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like, hit the follow. More to come.
More to come. That's what they say. Okay, hold up. I don't feel like hearing the bootlicker. He wants so much publicity. I'm not even giving him a day. Even he went on these 4 days. Let's see what Keisha got going on. Oh my God. I don't know about that. Let's go. Let me see.
This shit is getting out of hand. Would y'all believe Warren's dad done set up a give, send, go for Nolan Wells' fake friends? How in the hell are y'all trying to raise money for them being a victim? This is wild. Not to mention, they are attacking our sister for audio engineering that Cito call. Yes, they're attacking the sister. Amongst some other things, y'all. Y'all are not going to believe what we about to watch today. But before we continue, we got a brother that's explaining DARVO, defend, attack, reverse, victim, offender. Y'all check this out, because this is something that we need to learn about these people. They are playing in our faces. They still haven't told us where's Nolan Wells' throat. Where is Nolan Wells' lungs? Where is Nolan Wells' organs? And if you're still doing some medical examining, we want to know what is the outcome. It should not take this damn long. But let's get into everything that's going on with this Nolan Wells case. I'm going to need y'all to like. I need y'all to hype this video. Make sure you subscribe and not just watching so we can get out here in the algorithm, y'all. Let's get into it.
Hey, yo, this is a classic example of DARVO. Defend, attack, reverse victim offender. And right now, we're at the reverse victim offender. Now these kids are the victims, not Nolan Wells. Nolan wasn't treated unfairly because Nolan was drunk, a claim that's under dispute. Some people say he didn't drink like that. He figured Warren said he only saw him a couple times. I only seen him a couple times. You know, I was talking to all my friends. Now he's seen him enough to know he was trash. He was black boy wasted. Nobody seen anything. And you are saying that what's unfair is that the people are suspicious. Inconsistencies in a case should lead to suspicions, which lead to investigations, interrogations, grand jury indictment, hopefully a trial. The court of public opinion, people can say anything. That's what happens to our kids all the time. Every time one of our kids gets shot in the middle of the street, they got his whole background. Listen, they say everything he did from the time he was in kindergarten. One time his dad left and all that shit. There's no two sides. Nolan was an American and he was Ocean Springs through and through, baby. And so there's no two sides. So if they can raise money for one side, we can raise money for these kids. You can do whatever you want. Just know that justice only has one side. One side. It's justice. You know what I'm saying? Tell you who's been falsely accused, Nolan. Because y'all are saying, and you even got TMZ's racist ass coming out with this shit. Like that Nolan wasn't on the boat. There's no evidence that he wasn't on the boat. There's no evidence that he was drunk. There's no evidence that he drowned. There's no evidence that this kid was wasted. There's no evidence that he got hit by a boat and somehow drowned, or that he walked off 100 feet out and dropped off into some water. Like, there's no evidence of that. Warren said that he didn't even see him like that day. So how would he know how drunk he was? So the only accusations are about Nolan's mother, the father, and Nolan.
I'll be damned if I send them people any of my damn money. You ain't getting none of my damn money. And stop calling these men kids. They are not kids. If they're old enough to drive a damn boat, they're old enough to take the responsibility of what happened. And that's some bullshit with them talking about some Nolan was drunk. Nolan coach said he seen him out there on Horn Island. He said Nolan was fine. Why the hell do you need to raise money and at the same time give $50,000? I thought you was donating $50,000 to the situation. You're lying. They all liars and they trying to protect themselves. Let's continue.
So Warren Hudson's daddy done started a GoFundMe, and they've already raised $40,000, almost $41,000. And they claim this is because they're targeted. And so they need this because they've been targeted. So they're basically saying it's been defamation. They've been falsely blamed and accused. They couldn't even attend his funeral because of everything. Okay. And he goes, why? Because race baiters sent deranged army after them. Just the term race baiters alone is white supremacist talking point. There is no such thing as race baiting. Race exists, racism exists, and you can have racist actions that can be called out. And I hate that term. I even hate when we use it. No, we live in a racist ass country that was founded on racism, and it very much exists. And clearly in your town, it exists because you use terms like this. I'll have acted the way that you've acted. Yeah, you very well could be innocent, but the way that you're acting is odd. And it doesn't seem as if you're someone in support of a friend. Supportive friends just don't act that way. And then you come on here and this is typical Al Sharpton, Ben Crump, and the usual suspects. You know, you guys are the typical tactic to come in seeking justice and leave when the money's dried up. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And then he has the audacity to mention Carmelo Anthony. Keep Carmelo's name out your mouth. And you need to worry about making sure your kids are giving the proper information that needs to be given. These people are just beyond the pale. I've never seen people claim to be best friends doing this. And Give, Send, Go is the website that all the racists go to.
I want these platforms to stop letting people raise money for wickedness. Prime example, Chud the Builder had no damn business raising no damn $200,000. Here it is. Y'all ass is under a microscope. You already rich. Y'all got boats and shit, big ass houses. What the hell you need some donations?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Listen, stop saying them people got all that money. A lot of those people live off credit and they in debt over their head. And they could be using this to pay things. You don't know what situation people are in. You know what I mean? Just because they live in a certain area, a prominent area, they might be getting loans on top of loans on top of loans. So we don't even know that. And they could be born against their trust or anything like that. We got to stop saying like people are living good because that's not always true either. But let's keep it rocking.
This don't make no sense. And not only that, how the hell you gonna put up under your Give, Send, Go that Benjamin Crump is out in Mississippi causing division? Mississippi been causing division since day one. What the hell are y'all talking about?
Secret Service Sam here with a Nolan Xavier Wells update. And this doctor, Paula Harmon, had this amazing message without even saying a word.
This video is silent because I want you to ignore the noise. I'm a surgeon. I know the anatomy of the neck, and I'm an advocate for children. As an ENT surgeon, I know the larynx, trachea, lungs, and spine are all necessary to determine the cause of death. I advocate for children ages 0 to 21. I know that the world cannot be silent about the wrongdoings against a child. Nolan Wells was a child. He was my child.
What do you guys think about it? Here is
the
a
world's
surgeon
child.
saying that they couldn't have possibly done the correct autopsy without the throat, the larynx, and the lungs. What do you guys think? Secret Service Sam out, Samson for president.
You think the universe gonna let you get away with this? Well, I got some bad news for you. For everybody who think they got a promising career, your face
Stand
is
on a
all over the
motherfucking
damn
neck.
world. Your face card is destroyed. You're not going to be able to go nowhere and anybody trust your ass. And when you think you're going to go on that football field and have a promising NFL career, just know there's a 350-pound wide back.
Oh, he ain't going. I'm sorry. Listen, y'all could get, let me tell you something. The NFL, one thing about the NFL, they don't want controversy. And majority, what, 90% is black? If you think, let me not even say nothing, but you know what I'm trying to allude to. Allegedly, you can play that game with somebody else. Look at George Simenon. He can't get a job nowhere. Nobody want to do business with him. No fucking where.
That's waiting for your ass.
An alleged enhanced audio of the CTO call
Alleged.
that
Look at
purports
him.
to have a background
Wait a minute.
conversation.
Look at this clown who was sitting here protecting his brother and all the stuff he did while his brother was male. That's why his ass not at allegedly and not at CNN right now, for withholding and protecting his brother while he was in one breath telling the public one thing and another breath telling another public. How are we supposed to believe him as a journalist now still?
That is suggested sounds like people explaining the murder of Nolan. What is the legitimacy of the audio? The word Bart is in there, and I know real people with real platforms are pointing the finger at your client.
Yeah, so we don't see any legitimacy in a doctored transcript or a doctored audio that comes with a transcript, which is.
They good with wordplay. Switcheroo. It's switcheroo.
Cecil Assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our Doge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up.
Oh, she's showing y'all how she did it. It's simple as shit, y'all. She's showing y'all how she did it without any AI.
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our Doge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Hello! Let the fuck up! Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our Doge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Hello! Let the fuck up! Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our Doge pump stopped working. We're sinking. our Doge pump. Hey, we're at the West. Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our Doge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership. Hey, up! Shut the fuck up!
They was telling somebody to get the F up, like get the F up, must be off that boy, allegedly. And he said, D. Burt. That's what I'm hearing. I could be wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. He said D. Burt. Burt must was on top of this boy, allegedly.
Let's give a big round of applause to our sister, Janetta Brantley. Now, that's one thing about our people. We take pride in our degrees and shit. So you can't sit up here and say it's an alleged audio. Y'all see what she tried to do? That sister showed proof of what she did, step by step. Ain't that what y'all taught us in y'all schools? Show your work. That's exactly what she did. She showed her work, and she putting it right in front of the world to see how full of shit y'all are. But it's only so long that y'all could play pretend. Y'all time is up. Every excuse y'all make, it gets proven to be a lie. And not only that, the police and the detectives should have been got a damn audio engineer. Why do we have to do our own damn investigations? I'll tell you this. We need our own damn land. We need to separate from all y'all evil ass white.
Well, you can. You can. All you do is build a nation. It's simple. You can. It's the law. You can.
Supremacists, and we could just do our own damn thing. Y'all could just leave us the hell alone. But the truth is, y'all need us. Y'all feed off of us. Y'all thrive off of us. Y'all don't have a life without us. You ever notice a miserable ass person? They always starting with somebody, and then when they make somebody else mad, all of a sudden they get happy. Well, imagine that shit on a larger scale. They came over here, stole every goddamn thing, and now all of a sudden they walk around happy while all the people are miserable as hell. Them portraying themselves as the good old goody two shoes, perfect, can't do nothing wrong in these movies and in these damn commercials is over. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Make sure you hype the video. Make sure you're...
Make sure. Let me see. Where you at? I watched a lot of his shit. Y'all ain't gonna lie. I did. It's 19 hours. We just watched that. He sent something 2 hours ago. Let's see what he got. I think I watched it. Oh, I did. Okay. We watched that. Let's go see. Who is this? I like to hear people that's...
Now their lawyers are using subpoenas to try to...
Nobody want... Ooh, Lord, y'all. One thing after another, y'all. And I'm finna get off here because I gotta give me a nap in because I know I'll be doing some stuff.
This is crazy, guys, but allegedly there's...
Let's see what they got going on. Let's see. Don't nobody care about that. Who cares about who got arrested? Like, don't nobody give a damn until this shit with Nolan. Black lawyer reacts. Nolan Wells investigation. There we go. Listen. See what they talking about. Let's see what they talking about, y'all. They say black lawyer.
I ain't doing this. Breakfast.
We're Stay Legal Podcast with all attorneys, all own our own law firm. And we just like to talk about different relevant topics that's going on in the news, give our perspective. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. We try to remain respectful. Sometimes we got to fight after the pod, but we typically make up. So, if I know we're gonna have some people tuning in. If we got questions, comments, it's a live interactive show for people. We'll, try to answer questions live. Our billable hours are not cheap. So to be able to get some answers for free here live is a very expensive pie. It's a very expensive podcast. But I do want to tell everybody what we're going to talk about today. A very relevant topic that's constantly in the news, and I wanted to, get just wanted to talk about our perspective.
Before we get involved, please like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, Kick, Twitch. I'm on all major platforms. Thank you so much.
Investigations, or all the private investigators and their presentations on TikTok are very interesting to watch. However, I think having some attorneys discuss some of the points will help the public understand where we are. And one of the things that you mentioned is the legal process, right? And the timing and the steps that are involved in the legal process. And hopefully give some more insight and background into why some things remain unsaid. And although some things have been unsaid or maybe have not been revealed yet, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's no investigation going on, right? And the investigation is just falling apart and we won't ever know what happened, right? So part of why I wanted to come on today is to dispel that, and it just adds some more substance to the conversations that's floating around.
Absolutely. Okay. A wonderful opening statement. Attorney Ferrari, you want to give an opening statement, or you want to wait?
Yeah, I think you two have summed it up rather nicely. So I'm not going to rehash or beat a dead horse. But I think, I think there are questions, probably more questions than answers at this particular time. But I think that is also par for the course, if you will.
Awesome. So just so everybody's aware of what we're talking about, I think it's helpful. I know most of us know, most of the public knows what's going on with Nolan Wells, but just for those who may be tuning in, don't necessarily know what's going on, I did want to just give a brief summary. And I know we got some people tuning in, so those who are tuning in, give us your questions, your comments. If you want us to shout you out, put your name in. But yeah, I'm just gonna give a brief summary, and then I'm gonna ask some questions and we give our thoughts. So Nolan Wells, 18-year-old high school graduate who on the 4th of July, they went to this place called Horn Island in Mississippi to celebrate Independence Day. There was boats that went to this place, this specific place called Ocean Springs. They left Ocean Springs. They were from Ocean Springs. They left Ocean Springs to go to Horn Island. The reports say around 11:15 a.m. According to law enforcement, Nolan was last seen around 3 p.m. on the island. The boat departed around 4:30, but Nolan did not return with his group back from the island. The current reports right now is just that he remained on the island, but there many people questioning that, but the current report that he remained on the island. His group left him on that island. He never came home. He ended up being reported missing, and then on July 5th they began an investigation on trying to find Nolan. And on July 6th, they discovered his body He pulled it from the water at Horn Island. His family confirmed his identity. The case is receiving national attention. Nationally known civil rights attorney Ben Crump, has been obtained by the family to do an independent autopsy. And right now, the independent autopsy says that the cause and manner of death is quote and unquote undetermined, pending further investigation. Meanwhile, the state autopsy has been completed, but their findings have not been publicly released yet. And so there's just 3 active questions that remain that people want to know. And I guess just to nail it down even further, Nolan was a black boy, and he was around a lot of white boys. And so, a lot of people are concerned that, hey, we're in Mississippi, you got a bunch of white boys hanging out with a black boy, and the only person that's missing is a black boy. They feel it could be a racial thing. So that's one of the things that's reasons why it just get a lot of attention. So with the 3 questions that are still remaining today that people want to know is like, what really caused Nolan Wells' death? Was it an accident of drowning, or was it really foul play? And what happened based off the time he was last seen when he disappeared? And do you think the evidence supports criminal charges, or was this a tragic accident? So these are the questions that, the investigators are working on. Everybody wants to know. And everybody has some concerns about the legal process and what's happening here. I do see that we got a comment here. Let's see. Let's go ahead. I want to shout them out. Pilot J, good morning. I appreciate the good morning, Pilot J. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for listening in. We appreciate you. Anybody else want to comment? Feel free to comment. We definitely interactive podcast here. So, all right, let's go ahead and start. I'll go ahead to you first, Attorney Woodley. Oftentimes,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm a fool if I don't wait for the question, my man.
Oh man, you funny. No, so yeah. I mean, I'll let you flow. I'll let you flow. I don't want to stop the flow, man. You don't stop.
No, I didn't start the flow, bro.
Greatness.
You know what I mean? So yeah, what's your question? But if you just want me to jump in and say something, I can.
Go ahead and jump in. What were you gonna say?
So what I would say is we don't know. This is still, a lot of things are inconclusive. And like I said at the beginning, right, something that I wanted to draw a line to are people, and this is probably tied into the defamation suits later. People are doing their own investigations and conclusively coming up with their own determinations, right? And I just believe it's too early to do that. And I think it's a misstep to do that, right? Because how that breaks down to the law, right? Even if you wanted to start looking at this as a potential murder investigation, right? As you know, as a battle-tested criminal attorney, right? There's a difference between murder and manslaughter. Right. And that difference is normally around whether the person intended to kill the person, right? Whether it was an accident or not. Right. And we don't know if this was related to a boating accident, an altercation. We don't have any of those facts, right? So I think it's very, 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 very difficult to determine right now if this is a criminal matter, even though that is the assumption of the public, right? That this is a criminal matter. And the reason why I think that
Okay, I'll check in with Mo Business in 1 second. But I think that reason that assumption is being made is the race factor, right? And because this was a Black young man, he was one of the a few Black people at that party, at that venue, and he's the one that didn't come back. So based on trauma and history in America, there's an assumption that because race was at play, that foul play is involved, right? But however, I still think it's inconclusive. I guess to Mo's business, Mo Business made a comment. Okay, you have not prepared. I don't know what you're talking about, Mo. So if you could fill that in with a little color and some more details, I will be happy to elucidate you. But that's what I'm kind of saying, right? Mo's never met me, right? And Mo has made a conclusion that I haven't prepared because I'm not jumping off the ledge here and just saying, oh, a crime is being committed, right? And that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? And that's something that I want to address, is that we have to take our time, because even if there was a crime that was committed, we don't know what that crime is. We don't know exactly who is involved, and you have to give space for that investigation to pin down some of these details and add color to these areas.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And what was your reaction? Like when you saw it, what was your? I'll give my reaction. Now I want you to give your reaction. I'm gonna be this is personal opinion. I definitely was suspicious. Like my ears perked up. Wait a minute. Hey, one Black kid gone. Other white kids were gone. I mean, we're still there and they're alive and they're fine. So that definitely perked my ears up. But there's been protests. There's been so many things where people are conclusively basically saying, hey, this is probably a racial thing. And so I couldn't come to that. And I've done research. I've watched videos. I've listened to what his friends had to say. I've listened to, what different people had to say. And I still couldn't say, from a personal opinion, it's just not enough facts out there to show this is truly a racial thing. But what was your human reaction when you saw this?
So my first knee-jerk reaction, because just fun fact, right? So during my military stint, I was stationed at Keesler Air Force Base, which is in Biloxi, Mississippi.
Okay.
Right? So I was in this community, right? Not this particular community, but in that area, right? So yes, it was a little, this is America vibe, right? Kind of, here we go again. Yes. Was I sensitive to some of the racial tones? Absolutely. The thing that really got me interested, though, were when people started putting together factual inconsistencies. Right? Now, when that started to heighten my sensitivities and my alertness, because now I am interested in how all the facts come out, how things are played, because people are highlighting some inconsistencies, right? So what those inconsistencies lead to in the future, I'm very interested in, and that has drawn me in more. But my first knee-jerk reaction was, this is America.
This is America, meaning that Black people go missing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Terry Ferrari, what was your human reaction?
Full disclaimer, I'm on the civil side. I don't do criminal defense. I know enough to be dangerous. But I think, as an attorney, we do have to filter facts from feelings. But I think it's also hard to hear something like this and I think kind of going to what Jacoby was saying, if this, and I'm not saying if this was an incident that happened, let's say in Boston, Massachusetts, California, Denver, Colorado, I don't know if folk would have jumped on the racism bandwagon as quickly, right?
Okay.
But the fact that we were in the Deep South and we know the history of lynchings and killings of Black folk in Mississippi, I think that raises cause for concern. For me, and again, we're still piecemealing what happened together, but it's some of the stuff that happened, you know, that the other individuals at play here, I'll say the lack thereof, for lack of a better term, also gives cause for concern, though, right? So it seems as if, you know, if somebody I consider a good friend, regardless of race, fell off a boat, let's say couldn't swim and looked to be drowning, I don't know if I'd wait until I got back to shore to try to alert somebody or call the police, right? I mean, I think we'd be frantic at that time. But again, I think as an attorney, I do have to filter that feeling piece, those emotions, and look at the facts, right? I mean, I think Judge Mathis basically said it best. I think there's reasonable suspicion surrounding his death. Yes, I do. However, I can't jump on the he was killed bandwagon. And I think, you know, Cole, to your point, there are certain elements of crimes that need to be met. And if you're going to say it was murder, I think you have to prove, well, if murder won, I think you have to prove the intent. Could this have been a situation where a bunch of boys were just on a boat, horse playing, and went a little overboard, right? I mean, well, that's not murder one. I mean, like you said, Kobe, again, you're looking at some sort of manslaughter. But do I think the others on the boat know what happened to him? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. So I think that's just kind of, again, it's always sad when you hear somebody that looks like you know, could have been, I'm 40. So, I mean, Nolan Wells could have been my son. It's always a situation where, you know, it is sad when you hear stuff like that. But then at the same time, you know, being in the legal space, we can't just automatically jump on the, I'll call it non-legal bandwagon. We actually have a job to do.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that comment a lot. And I want to ask you, the public, I know we got some more people watching. You know, do you think this is a racist event, or do you think this was a murder? Do you think it has nothing to do with none of that? It's just another crime, another day. So definitely let me know. I want to hear your thoughts. Yeah, I do think it's important to highlight some of the particular facts in this case. So, you know, for one, based off what I've, you know, listened to, you know, research, Horn Island was a place where there was like hundreds of teenagers that they would go there, party, do whatever on July 4th. You know, it was just like a place where it was a lot of people. So it wasn't like, I think the initial reaction that people were saying was like, oh, it just seemed like a group of boys, like 4 or 5 boys went to this island, and then only one Black boy, only the Black boy is the one that's missing, right? So it was like a party that traditionally was just done at this island. Another fact that I think is helpful, that helped me, is that the state of Mississippi, they've been doing an investigation. They've interviewed over 60 different witnesses. They've done an investigation. However, in the state of Mississippi, they can't charge somebody without a grand jury. So here in Indiana, it's different. I'm not sure how it is down there in DC, Virginia, but in Indiana, they just need a police report, a probable cause affidavit. They don't even need the police report, really. They just need the probable cause affidavit, the charging information, presented to a judge. A judge signs off, says, yes, I think there's probable cause for a crime. And then boom, you can get charged with a crime. But in the state of Mississippi, you know, unless there's some sort of exception, for the most part, the state gathers all this evidence, presents it to a grand jury of people, and say, hey, do you think there's probable cause to charge these person? It looks like they're probably going to, and they might be charging multiple people. Now, I listened to the district attorney's, speech about it, and she talked about how, they are going to, they are investigating. They're going to follow the process of a grand jury. So I want to know what you guys' thoughts on that, like Mississippi's process of a grand jury, how this is delaying things, right? Because the public is like, they're ready to go. We want to know answers ASAP, right? And I understand this is the process. So they have a grand jury, and the grand jury, they're not supposed to release any evidence because the person hasn't been charged yet. So, I mean, how do you guys feel about that process?
So grand juries are a thing, well, have been in the news in DC, right? So you can be charged without a grand jury, but to be indicted, you need a grand jury.
Right.
Okay. And so with the federal occupation in DC, right? So there were federal grand juries that were not convicting the charges that were being presented by some of the federal agencies, right? The people of DC, right? They pull and panel the jury from regular folks, right? And these regular folks didn't like the policies that were going on with the federal government. So they decided not to indict several people that were presented on grand juries, right? So I bring that up to bring the point. And, a lot of people in DC are very sophisticated when it comes to the law, right? Just because it's DC, right? So as a group, they understood the power of the grand jury, and they understood the grand jury's role. So if the grand jury failed to indict, they understood the ramifications that would have for the defendant. Essentially, the defendant would be released, right? And they disagreed with the charges that were presented, and so they didn't indict, right? And that's the power of the grand jury. Now, going back to Mississippi and this whole "this is America" thing, right?
Okay.
So I think researching, I think you brought up a good point, and unfortunately, I didn't talk to you before the podcast. I didn't have a chance to research the history of this. I think that is a very unique quirk in the law, right? Because what that enables Mississippi to do, if you can't even be charged unless the grand jury allows it, then a group of like-minded people in the community can say, even though I see the evidence, right, I'm not going to charge the person. Right. And we can argue, and we can do a historical analysis and argue on who historically has benefited from that. Have there been any notable cases where it looked like the evidence was very clear, but for some reason, political, racial, whatever, grand juries in Mississippi have basically let that person go? I think that's a very key piece of analysis. And I also want to bring up, and also it's just good so the civic people know that the judicial system works when you're involved with it, right? Sit on these grand juries. Don't just throw away or try to get out of serving your jury duty when you're called, right? If you're called for jury duty, don't tell the judge that you just completely biased and you can't be unbiased, so you just get struck from the jury and get to go back home, right? Take the civil sacrifice and do your role as a juror. It's so important, right? So I think this highlights that, right? But looking at the history in Mississippi, and if that is true, that you can't even be charged without a decision from the grand jury, that is something pivotal to look at and to see in Mississippi's history how that has been used, because looking in that history, it might help us predict and see how it could be used in this case.
Right.
And one more point. I'm gonna use this to highlight this. So if that grand jury system is found out to be in Mississippi used and is manipulated or biased based along racial lines, I think this is a good point to highlight that to me is the definition of racism, right?
Okay.
Someone calling you the N-word,
Break it down.
Someone calling you the
down.
N-word in the middle of the street might be prejudice, might be bigoted, right? But I think when we talk about racism is when the leverage of justice are manipulated and guided by race, right? And you have mechanisms that you can employ or not or withhold that has an effect on people, and you can use it along a racial line, right? It's making that prejudice and inserting it into an institution, right? And not having an effect on the people in mass, right? So I would just like to highlight that, because I also think this is a good point to talk about that. So I will yield my time to my other panelists.
Okay, Attorney Barari, I'll let you chime in. What's your thoughts on the grand jury system of Mississippi? How they take so long to file charges? I mean, we can't blame the DA, right? I mean, the DA is doing what the DA normally does, but it does highlight an inefficiency, a potential inefficiency in the system of Mississippi. Like I said, here in Indiana, that wouldn't happen, right? You get charged, okay? You might get charged that night. You know what I'm saying? So, but like down there in Mississippi, they have to wait, right? So, how do you feel about this system?
So, again, I'm on the civil side of things, but I really don't practice criminal defense. But I think that whole grand jury concept and our idea is a bit archaic. Right? I mean, I think it's one of those old, adopted from the English. We're still working under that, let's call it regime, when it comes to trying to file charges, bring charges. And really, the onus at this particular junction is on the prosecutor, right? I think the onus is on the prosecutor to present enough. If there's enough to present, the onus is then on the prosecutor. So it's almost as if the prosecutor has to try the case twice, right? They'd have to present enough evidence to the grand jury to get an indictment. If there is an indictment, now I have to present enough evidence before a judge, jury, things of that nature. And at that point, it's again like the prosecutor has to try the case twice. And again, the other issue I have with the grand jury is, and I think Kobe, you alluded to it in general, is the fact or the idea that everything could be there, right? Let's say there could be inconclusive evidence, for lack of a better term. They could still say we don't see need to move forward on an indictment, and then therefore everything just kind of falls apart. So I think again that's just an extra step. I think prosecutors have enough, right? Because I think there's the beyond reasonable doubt. They have enough when it comes time to trying cases. I think you should be able to issue, like you said, Justin, your probable cause warrant, maybe a probable cause affidavit, get the warrant, the arrest, put the evidence together, and just let a jury decide whether or not this issue, just let a jury decide the facts here in this particular instance. That's. I mean, again, coming from somebody who doesn't practice in the criminal world, I think that's the way it could be done. But again, I think just that extra step, it puts extra onus, I think, on prosecutors.
Right. And then again, just so we can educate the public, they don't have to prove the case beyond a reasonable doubt at the charging stage. They need to prove that there's probable cause, which is a pretty low standard. It just means that a reasonable suspicion, that a reasonable belief, I should say, that a crime was committed here, right? A reasonable belief. So, yeah, but I definitely go ahead.
I don't mean to take over your role, but I kind of got a question for Shannon, like his civil role, right? As we were going through this whole grand jury thing, right? I think the grand jury also gives the city an out if the city is sued, right? Because the city could just default. So let's just say, hypothetically, right, that through the course of this, there's a sentiment that the city muffled the investigation, right? They botched it in some type of way, right? and the grand jury doesn't charge or doesn't indict anyone in this case. Doesn't that make it a lot more difficult to sue the city?
I mean, it could, right? I mean, it could, and then I don't know if Mississippi has laws on the books that says that governmental entities are basically sovereign anyway, right? So they could claim immunity. So they might not be able to be sued regardless. So they might be on the hook. They literally at fault. Yet because they have immunity, you can't bring a claim against them anyway. So, but again, I don't know how the laws read in Mississippi to be able to say that for sure. But I mean, there are instances where municipalities are immune to certain lawsuits.
Okay. That's a great question. I did want to get some comments here. So we got Zorro. I'm baffled as to why folks want this to be a racist criminal case. So it looks like Zorro, looks like you don't believe this is a criminal racist case. That you don't think race has anything to do with it. Please elaborate. But thank you for your comment. We got another comment from Queen V77. It is a racist case when everyone on hush knows nothing and have no reason why he died. That's a racist case. Point blank. Thank you for your comment, Queen V77. So
I got a question.
I want to hear
Justin.
from you guys. Yeah, no problem. I'm just letting people know to keep commenting. Go ahead, Attorney Willie.
All right, this is a theoretical question, right? So, all right. So again, I'm from Virginia, right? I'm from Smithfield, Virginia, to be exact. All right. So the county above Isle of Wight County, which hosts Smithfield, is Surrey County. Okay. For those that do not know, Michael Vick had a house that was raided there where he was allegedly involved with dog fighting. Okay. Surrey County is basically an all black county, majority black county, right? Most of the town council and all that are black. The county seats, a lot of black people sit on those seats. So would it have been racist if Surrey County would have slowed down the investigation on Michael Vick?
What do you mean? They slowed it down.
So I believe this commenter said that because everything is hush hush and slowed down, and the investigation is being slowed down, then it's automatically racist, right? So my question was: so if you have a known black celebrity like Michael Vick in a city that's politically controlled by black folks, right? If those city officials slow walked, hypothetically, an investigation involving Michael Vick, would that be considered racist?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I don't think this case is racist on its face as of yet, because we don't have enough evidence to show that. But I think to your earlier point, we talked about this. We keep throwing this word around, suspicion, right? Based off of how Mississippi's system is ran with this whole grand jury before they even charge you, it gives suspicion as to why they're still operating under it, right? These, quote unquote, right? It gives the image of, oh yeah, these white people gotta approve, a group of white people gotta approve whether this one white guy did something wrong, right? Like, and it could be very obvious that this white person may have done something wrong to a black guy, but they're gonna protect their own, right? And it gives that suspicion, right? It begs the question. We can't say that it does, but it begs that question. So, and I think another important point, though, another fact that I did in my research that I don't think is being covered enough. So basically, what I'm hearing is he went to the island with a group of friends, right? He left his phone because it was a big issue about he left his phone. Why would he leave his phone? they were saying that from his friends, and I've heard interviewed the friends, that everybody kind of left their phone because you don't get good signal on the island. And he left his car keys at the place of residence because he's on an island, he's in swimming trunks. Why bring your car keys? Another issue is that came up, or fact that came up, was that his friend said they left because there was some issue with the boat, which I don't understand why you would leave on that same boat if there's issues with the boat, but that's what I'm hearing. And I could be, mixing some facts up a little bit, but from my understanding, his friends will say, hey, we gotta get out of here. This boat's having issues. We gotta get back to our home. Nolan was with a girl and he was like, hey, y'all go ahead. I'm good. And I think because it was Horn Island, it was everybody, it was a lot of people there, he felt like he can ride back with someone else. And the friends like, listen, we told him to get on the boat. We told him, hey, come on, man. He said, nah, I'm good. So do you think that the friends are telling the truth? Do you think that absolves his current friend group from basically criminal activity? Do you think this is a believable story? I just want to know you guys' reaction to hearing those facts.
Well, so I'll shoot first. I don't care. So that's my whole thing with the inconsistent facts, right? And but there's a lot of stuff going on in this chat, Justin, that I gotta look, man.
Okay, yeah, you want to address the chat? Go ahead.
Yeah. So
we got
for the record,
here.
I never said that race could not have been a factor in this case. What I'm saying is I don't conclusively know what happened, therefore I can't conclusively say it is. I then went on to explain how racism, when it comes to that, at least that piece, that if it was used institutionally, like how it could be hypothetically potentially used with the grand jury, how that is the real definition of racism. So by me saying that, there's no way am I saying that should be completely excluded from the conversation. I help define it within the conversation. But we have these people that are using this story to just troll, right? And just harp and just argue over the race issue. And the whole point of part of this and part of three attorneys coming on here is to elevate the conversation, right? And I think that breakdown, right, and how we want to just focus on that. I'm not saying that it wasn't or was a factor, but just focusing on the racial piece, you're turning a blind eye. You could miss some other evidence, and you could miss another play because you're so hyper-focused on that. And I'm not saying, I can't even say that you're wrong for doing it. I'm just trying to elevate that conversation and help get some insight and conversation on the facts instead of the emotional pull and the clickbait that's floating around. So basically, I'm just trying to elevate this beyond the clickbait, because I also feel as though race is the easiest low-hanging fruit when it comes to clickbait.
Right. Is there a comment specifically you want to address?
Mo Business came in here crazy. And then there's Torino 3160. Somebody named Bears helping me run these people up out of here. But there's a lot of folks that come in here bro, first of all, you making these comments, y'all clearly don't know me. First of all. First and foremost, and if you did, right, you would realize how asinine this is, right? But the reason why I'm addressing this, and I'm addressing this on this live, because that whole little thing that's going on is bleeding into the case in real life, right? And everyone keeps talking about
Nancy, this, that, and the third. Like, we're supposed to have the charts up here drawing the lines in when they were in
I would
Horn
never
Island, and
hire
this, that, and
this
the
guy.
third. That's not our
He's
job.
so into his
Our
feelings,
job,
shit's not even funny.
Shannon said, Attorney Buhari said, is we need to put aside our feelings and let's parse through the facts, right? And that is what we're doing. And I would encourage other people to pull a seat up to that table instead of sitting at the kiddie table.
Come on now. Attorney
I
Buhari,
would never
you have
hire
anything
him.
to add?
Yeah, I mean, I
He would
think
sell
again,
your ass out.
I think Cole said it nicely. But I think I said it before, and I'll say it again. I think sometimes there's sometimes folk have the emotions run out in cases like this, right? So two things can be right at the same time, right? And I think sometimes people lose sight of that. Two things can be true at the same time. We know that a Black guy was killed. Well, wound up dead. I'll say wound up dead, right? I think through facts, through discovery, and that's part of the process, right? I think in addition to, police conducting investigations, forensic guys and gals conducting investigations, we conduct our own investigations too, right? That's where the discovery process comes into play. That's why I can send subpoenas. That's why I can send requests for production. That's why I can send interrogatories. That's why I can send requests for admission. And through our own investigation.
Looking for a K-12 education that goes beyond the textbook, right from the comfort of home? Welcome to a new standard of online learning.
Beyond general education, our students dive into specialized virtual labs for real-world job readiness.